Welcome, it's Denome, and welcome to this crypto update. Now, the last week in crypto was absolutely wild. We saw Bitcoin going up and immediately dump 90K. Then we saw a recovery and a dump again, and now we're back at $100,000. In my opinion, this has been very, very good. We were able to flush out leverage, and it looks to me that Bitcoin wants to push higher now. Just a short-term quick analysis before we look at fundamentals and the news. When we have a RSI, which is the momentum indicator, you can plot out this trend line here below the RSI lines, and you saw that we had a bounce from the trend line here when Bitcoin fell down to 90K, and right now it seems like we want to push higher. Once this short-term trend line here gets broken upwards, then I do believe Bitcoin will push for new all-time highs once again. That could happen in maybe even over the weekend, but at the beginning of the week. That's kind of my expectation now. And also, I want to give a shout out to Crypt Nuevo, who is another YouTuber, and he makes content on X as well. He posted this idea on December 8th that I happened to see, that he has a theory that when you see a massive wicks to the downside like this, it's very common that we go and revisit 50% of the wick again. And that's pretty much exactly what happened throughout this week as well. We went to 94K, and then altcoins had a massive reckoning, and from there some altcoins already are pushing for new all-time highs like AVE and Link. But this technical analysis by him was spot on accurate, so I just want to give a shout out to Crypt Nuevo. Now, talking about the most recent news, Grant Cardone, who is a media personality, he is teaching sales, and he has a bunch of overexpensive courses on selling and all these kind of things. But he's now releasing a $1 billion real estate / crypto hybrid fund. I don't know the details of the fund. When I went to the website, it's only a one landing page where you can only type your information, and you have to have $250,000 to even sign up for it. So personally, I just decided I'm not gonna opt in for it because it's for US persons only. But anyway, $1 billion is what he's aiming for, so I hope he gets the funding so we can push Bitcoin higher. Then Riot Platforms, they have now announced a private offering of $500 million of convertible senior notes, primarily to acquire Bitcoin. So another company is now doing the MicroStrategy plan. Then Russian lawmaker is now proposing strategic Bitcoin reserve to counter geopolitical challenges. So let's see if that will happen. I don't want countries to have war. I want them to compete with Bitcoin. So if Russia buys Bitcoin, I'm all for it. That just means US has to buy more, and maybe China will chime in as well. Let's see. But all in all, this is bullish for Bitcoin price. Then Texas, there's a bill now by a representative there to make a Bitcoin strategic reserve for the state of Texas also. So it's not only countries that are competing with Bitcoin, it can also be states. So this is very nice to see. Hopefully other states will join in, and I hope this gets passed to law. Then BlackRock, they are now shilling Bitcoin once again. So on 12th of December, they announced this perspective, and they are basically evaluating how much Bitcoin you should have in your portfolio, and they pretty much conclude that you should have 1 to 2% allocation of your assets in Bitcoin. If you have more than 1 or 2%, then the risk for your portfolio grows to 14% according to BlackRock. So 1 to 2% is what BlackRock wants you to have in your portfolio. So this is obviously bullish. When they market Bitcoin for us, that's obviously good for us Bitcoiners. Then another billionaire founder of Interactive Brokers, which is a platform where you can trade stocks, and I think you can use leverage there also. He is now saying that people should have 2 to 3% of their net worth in Bitcoin also. So this is pretty cool. Eric Trump, he was also shilling Bitcoin. But all in all, just a lot of people are saying that you should buy Bitcoin. Then Australian pension fund has now bought $27 million of Bitcoin, and they have become Australia's first pension fund to buy Bitcoin. And I made a pretty funny joke about it, saying that imagine if boomer pensioners have more Bitcoin than you, simply involuntarily getting it through their pension funds. So I thought that was pretty funny. But anyway, pension funds competing on Bitcoin, that's good to see also. Now, talking about fundamentals, first, when we take a look at the inflows of uh, dollars into Bitcoin ETFs in the United States, just yesterday we saw almost $600 million flowing into Bitcoin ETFs. So this is a very, very nice number. Pretty much above $90,000, we are just seeing more and more and more inflows into Bitcoin ETFs. So clearly institutional investors just want to buy more Bitcoin even at these price levels. So this is fundamentally very good to see. One interesting thing here when we are on the social value website is when we take a look at the new US Bitcoin spot ETF options. Here we can also see a lot of value being included here. So on November 20th, we saw $2 billion worth of call options, and right now we're seeing $6 billion worth of call options. So these are pretty much your buy orders. And in a daily change, this was 8% in one day change. So they are pretty bullish on Bitcoin. We're also seeing put options, but these are only $3 billion, so half of the call options. So all in all, a lot of buying from here as well. And finally, on this platform here, you can see 300 million or $273 million of inflows into ETH ETF or Ethereum ETFs. Here we're seeing a lot of buying of Ethereum at the same time. They are buying Bitcoin. So this is obviously quite nice for altcoins. So all in all, fundamentals look extremely good on this front. Unfortunately, when we take a look at network realized profit and loss chart, here we are seeing a lot of profit taking. So I want to spend a little bit time on this to basically for you to understand what is going on. So let me stretch the time backwards here. So what does network realized profit slash loss mean? It means that when you hold Bitcoin on chain, so on your private wallet, and you don't move it for a while, and when the price goes up and you finally transfer that money to your friend or yourself or to an exchange, then that transaction or that Bitcoin gets realized, and then it will create a spike on this chart. So when the price of Bitcoin goes up and we see a spike, we can assume that a lot of profit taking has been taken place. And right now we're seeing record amounts of profit taking, unfortunately. So obviously, when you look at pre-4, when we saw a lot of profit taking, that was pretty much a local top. Here you can see a lot of profit taking as well, and here also. And right now, this is the highest peak. Now, the first thing that I want to say is that now Bitcoin price is $100,000. Here at these levels, it was only $50,000. So that means that obviously the spike in dollar terms is going to be higher, much easier than it was before. So even though this looks like it's massive, I will only say that is pretty much, you pretty much have to cut this in half to be comparable to this area here. So it's not that bad. But here you saw a lot more profit taking pretty much than we are currently seeing here if you adjust it to the current price of Bitcoin. But still, it is a lot of profit taking. And for this reason, some people are saying that Bitcoin will fall down to $80,000 price point because we are seeing so much profit taking. But I just showed you, there's also a lot of buying going on. So they either cancel each other out or they don't. And in my opinion, it seems like the buying is just so massive that the amount of profit taking is not even close. But I could be wrong, because when we actually take a look at the numbers here, you can see this, for example, is $6 billion worth of profit taking in one day on December 9th. And here we can see this was $8 billion worth of profit taking on December 5th. So whatever inflow we saw on ETFs, like $500 million, it is much lower than we are seeing profit taking on here. So let's see what's going to happen. Personally, I will say you have to be cautious, but still all the pointers are pretty much pointing to the upside. Now, the other fundamentals here, on the other hand, are, in my opinion, extremely bullish. So let me again go into a shorter time frame. So when we take a look at the number of Bitcoin on exchange reserves, this, even at these price levels, keeps continuing to go down, which means that Bitcoin is leaving exchanges and going into private wallets. That is very, very nice to see, because people expect higher prices. They don't want to trade Bitcoin, they want to hold Bitcoin. And maybe some of the money is leaving to ETFs, so that could be a little bit problematic. But anyway, going further, when we take a look at the funding rates, you can see the funding rates have now been reset. A lot of the leverage has been flushed out, and this is very, very nice to see, because it means that the price, the longing Bitcoin is, or there's not over leverage in the system at the moment anymore. Unfortunately, though, this can still go to the negative. Like previously here, like at this price level here, the price of Bitcoin looked extremely good. The funding rates were reset. We had a higher low here on the price. So we would have imagined that the price of Bitcoin went to the upside, but instead it kept continuing to go to the downside until funding rates turned negative. So this can still happen, that Bitcoin actually goes even lower from this current previous low here. So you have to keep that in mind also. When we take a look at the amount of stable coins, we are seeing new stable coins being minted. So in the last few days, during this week, we saw $2.7 billion worth of stable coins being minted. So this is very bullish for Bitcoin. And something else here, this is pretty much the profit taking. I added a new chart here, which is this orange one from before. So when I show that, I wanted to see who is taking profit. And it seems like these short-term investors who have held Bitcoin for roughly 90 days to 1 year, those people have been taking profits. But at the very least, the people who did not take profits, or yes, they are taking profits, but we are not seeing massive blue and yellow spikes here on this chart, which is at least good to see that these long-term whales are not selling as much as they were selling during this time here. So in my opinion, it is not optimal. Obviously, we don't want anyone to sell Bitcoin, but it is what it is. Just keep that in mind. Something else I want to touch on here, not really. I guess since you saw it, I have to comment on this one. So on sentiment, we are seeing a lot of selling from Bitcoin miners, and then the selling has pretty much stopped. But when I looked at this chart on Crypto Quant, I'm not seeing the same spike. So I sent a message to Sentiment, and I'm actually waiting for their answer. Is this a bug, or did this actually happen? Was it like a labeling problem? What is going on? So currently I'm not going to comment on this drop here, because there's contradicting info between Sentiment and Crypto Quant. When I go to Crypto Quant, I do want to show one chart here, which is the 1 year inactive supply. And here we are seeing that this is pushing for a lower now. So now the 1 year inactive supply is at 63%. At the peak here, it was 70.4%. So now we are down roughly 7 percentile. So in my opinion, this does not look like the top yet. I think this can go down even lower to like 60% or like 58%, 55% even. But at least as of now, we're nowhere near this level. But as you can see from previous runs, you always see a higher high here, a higher low here when the price of Bitcoin is at a peak, and every year this, or every cycle, this low here is a little bit higher. So that's why I don't think we will go to this low 54% anymore, but it could be possible that we go to like 60 or 50, actually 55 is here, so maybe we would not go that low. So 60, 58, maybe somewhere around that range we will go to during this bull run. Or who knows, maybe this is the top already and I'm just talking out of my ass. But anyway, this is like the warning sign that the top is near. That's what I'm just trying to get at. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the fundamentals. Now let's go back to the, actually before we go to the chart here, I just want to quickly touch on the Bitcoin liquidation heat map here. So when I look at the 1 week view and we take a look at where is all of the liquidation liquidity now at the moment, you can see a lot of green turning to yellow here before the current price range. So 100,000, 200, 600, $2,600. Right here we see a lot of yellow. So I think Bitcoin price will want to go there. There's not as much liquidity below here. Not many longs to liquidate. So that's why I think we are pushing for that next high here, $105,000 quite soon. $100,000, 1,005. I don't know how to say it. It's very hard to say. Anyway, going back to the charts here. In the short term, let's go to the 4-hour view for now. So we were in this structure here for a while. I saw some people drawing these lines like this. Sorry, from here to here, that this is now, this green line here is pretty much where we will be following. And these overextensions, they were just the fake outs. And now we're gonna head upwards here. What I'm looking at is looking at this kind of breakout structure here, and now we are breaking out of that this trend line here as well. So in my opinion, we're looking at a potential breakout maybe during Friday, Saturday, or early next week. When I look at the back to the daily view here as well, I do want to point out that we do have a bullish divergence here on the chart. So here we saw a higher low on the RSI, but the price was much lower. And currently we are seeing a lower low on RSI and a higher low on the price here. So this is a bullish divergence, just pointing that Bitcoin wants to break to the upside very, very soon. So that is pretty much my short-term analysis there. There's not really much more to it. It just seems like Bitcoin has broken throughout these levels, and now we're just consolidating in this price range, and we want to shoot upwards. And on Ethereum, the price has already pretty much recovered from this dump here. And right now, this is the resistance area. So on Ethereum, you probably will see like a little bit hanging out during this on this price range here, maybe even throughout the weekend, and then we break to the upside here and reach new all-time highs on Ethereum because of all the buying that we are seeing on ETFs. So all in all the markets look pretty good. On altcoins, I unfortunately missed the Link pump here. I had a long position on Link, but I was trying to get a lower price area for that. So I got rid of my Link for a while, and I wasn't able to get a lower price on that, unfortunately. And then Link shoot for new highs here at to $28. But right now, Abe did the same move, and the reason for that is the Trump's new DeFi platform. They went ahead and bought a bunch of Link. I think they bought $1 million of Link, and they bought $1 million of Abe token. So after that happened, both Chainlink and Abe both jumped to new highs here. So very nice move there. But now I'm expecting other altcoins to follow suit. So I'm currently long on BNB. I think that is going to be an excellent play. BNB recently just launched a pump.fun platform on their blockchain as well, and that is on PancakeSwap, and it is called Springboard. So here, when you come here, you can see all of these different meme coins, and they're competing against each other, and you have the market cap rating. So the highest market cap here on these tokens is just $2 million, but I feel like all of these are pretty garbage. None of them even have X profiles, so it's just people creating tokens here and seeing which will win. I will see if any of these gains any momentum. I might jump onto some of them. But one key note to understand here is when Tron Network launched their version of Pump.Fun, and then the token price of Tron jumped 200% to the upside. So that's kind of what I'm expecting with BNB token. You could argue that the Cake token is better because this pump.fun is being launched on PancakeSwap, so Cake token could do quite well. Also, another token that I'm very bullish on is Ordinals or Ordi token. So when we take a look at the price of Ordinals, let me go back to the chart here. So Ordi USD. The dump here was absolutely massive. So when the order price dumped, the price of this most recent high, the dump was 41% to the downside. So it was massively overextended in my opinion, and we went back to this trend line here. So right now when we take a look at ordinals, you can see that we have broken out of this bear market here, and now we're pushing for new highs. We came and pretty much retest this trend line here as well. So in my opinion, the ordinals or Audi looks absolutely beautiful. So I went pretty balls deep on ordinals here during this dump. So I'm quite long on ordinals. Also, another reason why I'm bullish on ordinals is if I go back to the so-so value and I go to I think it was Bitcoin dashboard. Let me find it. I go down here. It's right about here. So this is the Bitcoin distribution of transaction types. So this bit pretty much tells us what is taking the load on a Bitcoin blockchain. During 2023 bull run, the ordinals or all of the meme tokens started to pump upwards. Pepe being one of them. You can see that pretty much 60% of the whole Bitcoin blockchain was overtaken by ordinals. There was a massive mania into these ordinal meme coins back here. Right now, we are seeing another surge of these ordinals. So ordinals are now taking 30%, and here the latest number is 34% of Bitcoin blockchain block space is taken by ordinals. So there's a lot of transaction volume going on with ordinals at the moment. And because ordinals is linked to the price of Bitcoin, because ordinals are directly running on the Bitcoin blockchain, as the price of Bitcoin goes up, at least my theory is that ordinal should follow that price action. So for these reasons, in my opinion, ordinals is looking extremely bullish. So I'm currently long here, and I have my stop loss below this price point. So that is my play with ordinals at the moment. I did make some other plays also, not on my copy trading account on Bybit, but on other exchanges. So I'm very bullish on Trump USD. So Trump, let me get this one here, the Trump token. Actually, let me use this one here. So this is the Trump on Uniswap, and then I times it by the price of Ethereum to get the actual price of those Trump tokens. But anyway, looking at this chart, let me get out of the logarithmic view. You can see that throughout this summer, the price of Trump tokens just had a massive bumps to the upside a few times, and then a massive dump. It had a I don't know what you call it, but like another pump to $6 right before the elections, and we had a final pump on election day, and then a massive discarding because the MAGA movement, the Trump, kind of became irrelevant at that moment, but the token is still holding strong. The community is extremely active, and because of all the bullish stuff that we are seeing on crypto right now, Trump is pretty much the reason why everything is pumping, why altcoins are pumping. I think the original Trump meme coin will have another surge. So currently what we are looking at is we're looking at a potential move from the current price point of $1.9 to at least here to $5.5, which is a 200% move. If we would go all the way to the previous all-time high, that would be 900% move to the upside. Now, if you are an absolute memer, then you might believe that the price of Trump token will go to $47 because there's a $47 million supply of these tokens, and because Trump is the 47th president. So the meme price for this token is $47, and that would be a 2,400% gain on your capital if this would happen. So I'm very happy to buy Trump tokens at this consolidation price level. I think it's massively undervalued compared to other altcoins and to other mania that we're seeing on the markets at the moment. So I think eventually it will be a time for Trump to shine again. I just don't know when. Maybe it will be next year, January. We'll break out of it. Maybe it will be this year. I don't know. But it seems like this wants to get out of this rut where it has been. So Trump looks extremely attractive in my opinion. And obviously, in my previous video, I talked about the Beefy token. So Beefy USD, I'm still very bullish on Beefy. It already bounced back from this dump here. So it's looking at the same price point where I pretty much made my video. So right now it's looking quite bullish in my opinion. One of the reasons why it may be bullish as well is when Trump finally releases his DeFi platform. That is launching on Ethereum, which means that you can yield farm on the Trump platform and you can use Beefy Finance to optimize your yield farming on the Trump DeFi platform. So another reason why Beefy might be an extremely interesting option, and because it is the largest yield optimizer. But I made a whole video about Beefy Finance, so you may want to look at that video. So those are all of my reasons why I think markets are still heading to the upside. I think one more thing I do want to talk about, that why I don't think 80K is possible, is that all of the momentum that Bitcoin had to go to the downside pretty much got taken out with these moves here. And right now we are pretty much only seeing wicks here. So wick down, wick down, wick down, wick down, wick down, which usually signals that the price wants to go higher. When we see a lot of wicks to the downside here, that usually means that price doesn't want to stay at that price point. It wants to go higher. So again, one of the reasons why I think it's gonna go higher. So anyway, that's it for my update. I hope you got some value out of it, and I hope we can make some extremely nice gains over the next week. I will see you on the next video. Thanks for watching this one, and bye bye.